So one thing a lot of people don't know is that it's not all the universities in the UK that are good for you. So if you're thinking of studying in the UK, there are several universities you can pick from. So it can be overwhelming to know which one to pick and why should you actually pick a university. So don't worry, in today's video, I'm going to be explaining everything that you need to know in terms of choosing the best and the right university for yourself. If that sounds like something that interests you, please like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into the video. Hi, if you're new here, my name is Dami. I'm an international student here in the UK. I talk about the UK lifestyle, study lifestyle. I document my journey as an international student in the UK and everything in between. So if you're a returning subscriber, I love you, love you, love you. Thank you for always coming back to this channel. And today, like I said, I'm going to be talking about the UK universities and what you should consider in choosing an ideal university. So number one thing I'm going to say is the university ranking, and then the course you want to do, the ranking as well. So you can use the US World University Ranking or the UK University Ranking to check out that, to see if the university you're thinking or you have in mind actually like meets your requirements, depending on what you're looking out for though. So you also check the course and the institution as well. So I feel like most of the top ranking universities are most times really expensive. So but if you still have a university that rank, I don't want to like state schools or what they rank here, but just use your discretion to see, okay, if this is like a university that's actually like in the medium category and the tuition is okay, then that's okay for you. But don't go and pick a university that is, the ranking is extremely low and even the course you want to do is not recognized, or something, or it's just like you're wasting your money. So why pay a lot of money just to come and do a course in a school that will not be recognized, or you'll never be able to get a job with, or nobody's actually going to value that degree? It actually makes no sense. Okay, so you can also use the complete university guide. You can google it, the complete university guide, or the QS World University Ranking, or the UK university ranking. You can use Google to check the ranking of your school, what kind of awards they hold. Some schools will have some award, maybe the best university in terms of teaching quality, in terms of employability, all of that. Most schools have one award that they've received so far and all that. So if that actually works for you, then you can go with the university. So I understand that searching for universities in the UK can be very overwhelming, because you want to consider tuition fee, cost of living, career-wise, a lot of things. But guess what, guys? I have a good news for you guys. Funding is like one of the top problems of international students, especially moving from their home country to another country to study. And this is where Amber has something juicy for you. So there's an Amber scholarship that is currently ongoing, and you don't want to miss out. Yes, the same Amber that offers you seamless accommodation bookings that is close to your university. So they are giving out about $12,000 scholarship opportunity to international students. The best part is you don't even need to book an accommodation before you can qualify for this scholarship. It's purely a scholarship to support your education, and this is really amazing. So this is the structure of the scholarship. The first one is $6,000, second one is $4,000, and then the third one is $2,000. And all you need to do is just write a supporting statement on why you need to qualify for this scholarship. That's it. So you can do it like in form of a presentation, you can do a video, however you want to do it. That's all you just need to apply for the scholarship. So you can just highlight your academic goal, financial goal, and how this scholarship is going to impact your studies. So this is actually something you don't want to sleep on, because the deadline is 16th of August and they're going to be shortlisting 31st of August. I'm also going to be announcing the winner on September 5th, 2025. So what are you waiting for? Click on the link in the description bar of this video right away and start your application. And this is not actually an audio scholarship. There are a lot of people that have won this scholarship in the past, and you might not even hear about it. And this is why you got me, I got you. So there are several students from diverse backgrounds that have actually won this scholarship before. So what are you waiting for? Get on it right now. Click on the link in the description bar and register right now. You never can tell. You might be the next winner. So let's jump back into other things that you need to consider when you're choosing the right university. So another thing to look out for is the location, or the city at which the university is located. Because in looking at the location, there are a lot of things you need to consider. Is it a big city? Is it a small city? You need to look at the affordability. Will I be able to survive here in terms of housing, bills, in terms of commuting, in terms of making friends, in terms of networking, in terms of job search? There are a lot of things to consider when it comes to location. And I'm going to say that your top priority in looking for, when considering location, should be a place that you'll be able to get a job. Because there are a lot of cities in this UK that I've had like people reach out to me from, that they're saying they've not been able to do a single job since they got here, and some of them have spent close to 3 months, 6 months, they've not been able to get anything. So you need to find out, go to a city where probably you have somebody you can reach out to, or somebody that can hook you up with something, somebody that can advise you, send you something to apply, all of that. But if you go to a place where you don't know anybody and there's no even job in that country, you will suffer. no be small, no be, you will suffer. So you need to make your research, you need to make your findings. And I will not advise you to go to like popular cities, but if you have the money, all these kind of places are kind of expensive. And you know, that's where you have most of the top schools, places like London, Manchester is still quite good, but Manchester is still like low key, not too expensive, depending on the patch. But London, these places are expensive. So you need to like work with your budget. If you have a lot of money and you're willing to, why not? You know, London is a place where you can get a lot of opportunities. But I don't want to start mentioning some certain locations that you might not be able to get anything. I don't want this because it's so obvious. If I start saying those cities, you know the schools in those cities. So I don't want any controversial anything, but just make your research. Make your research. Look for people that are staying in. Maybe if you decide to choose a location now, let's say maybe Manchester, look for people that are studying in Salford University or University of Manchester, or, you know, all those things, and ask them questions. How is the job market? Will I be able to get? Even if it's just part-time job as a student, will you be able to get? Because you go to some cities, even that part-time you will not see. Not talk of after graduation. So in those areas, you need to consider the rent. What is the housing like? What is the transportation like? What is the community like? Are they black people there? Are they just white people there? Will I be able to make friends? Do I have families there? So those are the things that you consider when it has to do with location, aside from the school itself. Okay. So the baba of the baba, like that's like the biggest of all, is the tuition. If you ask me, that's like the biggest for me because being a self-funded student in this country is no child's play. Like you're coming here to pay your own tuition. It's only if you're on scholarship, then you might not consider anything. But if you're coming here to pay your tuition, then you need to consider the cost of the tuition. And that's like the most important thing if you ask me, because why will you choose a school where you're going to be paying 45,000, 30,000, and they will not tell you to pay them like 2K or 3K from your own country? You feel like, oh, you've seen the best opportunity. It's slavery. Be like, they just tell you to come here, to come and do. You want to use your slave. That's just it. That's the truth. Anything that is more than 12K, 15K, you are setting yourself up for slavery. Go say it out. You're setting yourself up for a lot because the highest you can, it's only if probably you've paid everything from your own country. But if you've not paid all the money and you're coming here based off of 30K, 50K tuition, ah, okay. So another thing you can also do is to consider university that offers more scholarship or maybe tuition waiver or something like that. Those kind of things actually helps. Like if you get an offer from a university that gives you maybe a certain percentage of your tuition, then that's going to make a lot of sense. You know, in my previous video where I spoke about the step-by-step guide, my visa process and all, I explained to you that I had several offers and I had to just sit down and look at which one is actually best for me because I don't want to be stuck. I don't want to be, you know, running around say, hey, this one, that one, because I had to go with a school that gave me like the highest discount, you know, at the time. So, you know, you're going to see schools that are going to give you like 35 off. Some people even give you up to 4K off, 2K off. You now go for schools that will not even like give you anything. So some schools, you might even see some schools that will give you like 50% off, maybe it's half scholarship or something. So those kind of things is what you use to determine the kind of university you will pick. Do you understand? So you have to really consider the cost and scholarship available to you because I will not even lie to you, coming here and paying maybe half of your money or not even close to half of your money and thinking you're going to come here to pay everything outrightly is a struggle. And that's just the truth. That's the plain truth. Take it from me. So you need to know what you're doing so that you don't regret later. Another thing you should consider is the graduate employability and the work placement opportunities available for you in that university. Like if you've seen people from that university that have graduated and they were able to like secure a job, you should know that okay, probably they're getting support from the school or somewhere, or the location is actually good for them, you know, something like that. You can't really use that to judge, but at least if you from your research, if you can see that okay, maybe you can just go on LinkedIn and maybe search a job and you're seeing people that are working, maybe big firms like let's say Google, Apple, you just search their people working like for them. If you can see any graduate from those schools, then you know okay, yes, this particular school, their employability rate is actually good and all that. Even sometimes it might not really be like a criteria solely, but it's actually one of those things that might improve, you know, that might actually like make you make the best decision, or just something that will make you compare and contrast one university to the other. So it might be one of those things that you want to look out for. So graduates from this school, do they really get jobs? You know, do they really like see things? Are they really like valuable? You know, just some things like that, if you get what I mean. You also want to consider the university facilities and the support that you're going to get within the university. Because when it comes to international students, you're leaving your home country to a new country to start like a new life or just continue your life, depending on your own situation. And of course, you're going to need support in a lot of areas. Maybe support in getting accommodation, support in you're writing your CV, support in writing your research. A lot of support are available within the university, but there may actually be some university that might not take it seriously, and maybe they just focus more on their own students and not international students. So you need to find out. Go to their website, check what they have for international students, what kind of support services are available, mental health support, CV writing support, employment support, all of those things are very, very important to you as an international student. So you need to look out for that. Another thing you want to look out for is your course structure and the flexibility. So if you're that person that is not into too much book reading, writing exams, you need to check the course you're applying for in that university. Is it exam they are doing? Is it interview? Is it dissertation? Is it coursework? Is it whatever? You need to find out before coming, because I think a lot of people make that mistake. To just go to the school and this is the course I want to do, just to apply for the course. You don't really look at how the course is being assessed, because you're going to apply to some schools and you do some courses there and you realize that they're writing two exams, three exams for one course, and you are just here to travel and make something out of your life. You're not into like reading. You just find yourself reading, and if you're not even be able to work, you're not be able to do anything. How will you pay your tuition bonds? How will you sustain yourself? So you need to find out. You need to find the course structure. I'm not going to say writing an exam is a bad thing, but you need to personalize it. What works for me might not work for you. You might actually be interested in writing exams. Some people are interested in writing coursework or just writing assignment, dissertation, doing their coursework, doing presentation, doing interviews, and passing. So whatever works for you. If you know that, okay, I'm not an exam person, I cannot be reading for all the courses, I cannot be writing two exams or two tests or this one. You need to check what the assessment criteria is and what the pass mark is. Is this something you can meet up with? If it's not something you can meet up with, don't waste your money, because all the schools, if once they've said that this is their criteria, that's their criteria. There's nothing you can do in this world to make you pass if you don't meet the criteria. So it's actually very important. You need to check what the course is, flexibility, what's the duration. Am I going to be going to school like every day? All those things you need to check. They are very, very important. These are like the key things that you should look out for from the university portal or from previous students. Another important thing that you need to look out for is the payment plan. That is very, very important, because when you're coming in, I know that you have your proof of funds and everything, but still, exchange rates can play with you, and there might be a lot of expenses that are unforeseen circumstances. Maybe your rent, or maybe you're willing to stay with someone before, and the person just cancel on you, like me. And I was actually coming, I had plans to stay with somebody, and the day before my travel, the person said, "I'm sorry, I cannot." All those kind of things that you did not plan might just happen, and you might need to use money to fix one, to fix that one. So you need to look at the payment plan. If you don't want to go to a school that will ask you to pay all your remaining balance, maybe the first week that you're resuming, or depending on what works for you. Some institution will say pay 2,000 or 3,000 during your room. Some of them will actually give you like time, might tell you maybe 6 months into your course, or they just give you some certain dates. You need to take note of those dates, because if you don't pay at the exact date that they actually give you, you might be breaching the contract. So you need to follow what they've actually stated. So you need to check if this date actually like works for you, or if they are too close, or if you'll not be able to meet up. So those are the things that you look out for when it comes to payment plan. You don't just jump on it because okay they said I can pay at later date or something. Just check this date, is it feasible? Because some will tell you pay so amount this month, and the following month they're telling you to pay so amount again. Depending on what works for you really. And there are a lot of I won't say a lot. There's some schools that will never disturb you at all. They will allow you pay whenever you want to pay, as long as you still need certificates. So if you do not pay up, you'll not collect your certificates. So there are schools like that. And then there are schools that once you resume like this, they will hold your neck like this. I don't want to mention schools. I have a friend in a school, and he would never recommend that school to his greatest enemy, because they show them shaggy. Like the school was in the news one time like that they almost expelled all the international students because of tuition, and they were forcing them back to back to pay their tuitions. And the students said that was not what was in their offer later when they came in. All of a sudden, they just came up with everybody has paid their balance, this and that. Maybe they were out of funds and they just wanted to like, frustrate their international students. So you have to look out for that. You have to maybe Google or something if what previous students are. See, previous students are like your plug in the university that you're willing to study in, because you need to get a lot of information from them. Follow them, ask them questions. Is this good? Is this that? What is this like? So that you have it up and you don't have to be experienced. I know have to be experiencing a lot of surprises. Okay. So bonus tip that you also need to look out for is what's like international network in the university you're looking to study in looks like. Are there student groups? Are there career fairs? Are there networking opportunities? Are there student union? Are there international students in the university, or is it just their home students? So that you don't get to be lonely or bored. Is and it's something that you actually need to look out for, so that you don't get into university where you just be all by yourself and miss, like, maybe just home student, and you don't really know who to relate to it, and you cannot connect with anybody here just by yourself. It's very important. So I advise you to go on Telegram to search for the university you're going to. Let's say you're going to Southwood now. Type Southwood University on Telegram. You're going to Coventry. You're going to whatever. You're going to find a group chat of the university, and you will see previous conversations. You can ask questions. But on those Telegram groups, you have to be very, very careful. There are tons of scammers on that Telegram. So somebody might tell you, send this, I'll help you exchange money, I'll pay your tuition for you. Please, oh, anything that's to do with money. In fact, even if it's not money, any unnecessary message from anybody that I don't know, please ignore, because that place, all you are there to do is to read from genuine people, ask questions, and let people respond to you. That's all you need. So don't go and be transacting or doing things that you don't need. Some people will tell you, we'll pay this one for you, we'll exchange this one for you, we'll send it that one. They want to just sell something to you that you don't even need. So you enter into trouble. So go there for information. And if you can look for Facebook groups as well, search type the university name, you will see Facebook groups that you can join. There's also some WhatsApp community that you can join from those large groups like Telegram, Facebook. You can always gather information from there. So that's going to be all for today. If you have any question, or you want to ask me a question about a university or my university or anything, you can drop it in the comment section, and I'll be willing to respond to you and engage with you as well. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye, guys.